What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another movie review. I'm Chase Lee, and the movie I'm going to take a look at right now is Onward. Now, this one comes from Disney and Pixar. It is directed by Dan Scanlon, and this one tells the story of two elf brothers, Barley and Ian. Barley is voiced by Chris Pratt. Ian is voiced by Tom Holland. They go on a quest to search for a Phoenix gem so they can complete the kind of resurrection of their dad for a full 24 hours so they can see him one last time. Because the first time that they do it, the gem breaks and we only get to see his legs and his waist, so they have to put a leash on him and everything. Provides for a lot of visual gags, but they want to see their dad, so they got to go search for another gem. So they go on this quest. They have a bunch of pit stops. They're looking for a MacGuffin. It's a pretty straightforward story, but that's basically what the story is. And so, going into this, I wasn't really expecting a lot. I didn't really care for the trailers, and this is coming from someone who loves Pixar to death. I love the way they approach storytelling and the way they animate things. It's just everything about that whole company seems mature and really kind of touching every single demographic and not just kids. They make animated films for everybody to understand. And so, especially on deeper levels, it's not just, popcorn fodder like Minions or whatever. This is good stuff. And so I was a little worried because the trailers to me seemed like a DreamWorks movie. The animation wasn't clearly hitting for me. And I was like, this is not to the Pixar standard that I'm used to seeing. So I was a little worried. And I'm looking forward to, Pixar's later adventure this year with Soul. So I know they can do it. So maybe the marketing was just, maybe it was just not hitting for me in particular, because I like this movie. I like it quite a bit. So is it to the level of Inside Out Pixar, which I would consider top tier stuff, like Toy Story, Up? No. Is it bottom tier stuff like Good Dinosaur, like Cars 2 or 3? No. But it's a good effort, and I think it is worthy to have the Pixar name. So I'll just say that. To start with Dan Scanlon, who is the director here, he's also a co-writer. There's a lot of different things that he's playing with this story and this genre, and I really want to kind of dive deeper into how he approached the script and the visuals for this, because at the core of this film, you have these themes and these kind of emotional fronts that we can all kind of relate to when we watch this thing. Yeah, we're watching creatures and elves and pixies and monsters, but they go through real life stuff. They go through these real life kind of emotions that we can kind of grasp onto, of maybe someone that has lost a parent, or someone that, is a parent and has lost their spouse, or someone that hasn't contacted their sibling in a long time and really has lost that connection. This film kind of puts all that out in the front. And it's really kind of touching to watch. It's really heartfelt. It's emotional, and I really like the impact and the punch that it had, commenting on stuff like brotherhood and siblings and how they have relationships towards one another, how these kids have relationships towards their parents, or how they feel like there's this void that's missing in their life because they've lost a parent at such a young age. And even in the case of Ian, he's never seen his dad. He died before he was born, and Barley has seen him for a couple of years, but for the most part, he just feels like that fatherly figure in his life is missing because he's never had a father that he's been able to physically see. So there is that kind of visual gag that Scanlon is going for with the legs and the waist, but there is something kind of emotionally, poignant there with seeing someone one last time. What would you say to them? Would you want to tell them about your accomplishments? Would you want to know about what their life was like? Just everything about that makes me kind of tear up just talking about it, knowing that if we had this power as humans, that it would be really good for people that have that kind of void missing. But unfortunately, magic like that does not exist, and so people have to deal with that pain and that suffering, which I think this film also addresses. But I think at the core of this film, all the themes addressed to it and all the relatability to what we experience as humans, all great stuff. And I think it is a little pushing the envelope for kids or whatever, but I think just with Inside Out and Coco dealing with emotions and death, I think it's a great approach to that. And I don't think it steps over any bounds. I think kids would enjoy this, and so would adults. In terms of the actual visual like scope that Scanlon is going for, it's great. It provides humor, creativity, and really setting this fantasy genre in a realistic world like ours, like suburbia, cities, little towns, highways. It's just all that provides for great wonder of the artistic eye. Like, it's really beautiful to look at, but also some great commentary on how we as humans, we find inventions and technology that make our lives easier. And that's kind of like what this movie was proposing, because they had magic and they ruled the land by performing spells and like casting them out and stuff. And people just got lazy and they came up with inventions and they were like, I don't need magic anymore. So definitely the commentary on that. And then also, like I said, with the creativity and the humor and having these kind of monsters and ghouls and goblins and elves and fairies and stuff interacting in a human-like manner and screwing up and having businesses and stuff. There's just something funny about that, but they do it. It's not abrasive or anything. It's like just very like subtle humor kind of placed throughout the world that he's building, and I really appreciate that, because this is a world building film. I feel like this suburbia little community, the city, the mountains, everything is a part of this giant kind of like magic universe, and they really kind of make your mind wander a little bit in terms of just the universe that this story has built. And so I really like the vision and the writing and the approach that Scanlon took upon this film. Like I said, even has that kind of turn at the end of the film, and it goes in an unexpected place. I thought it was all satisfying on that front. So the voice casting, let's talk about that. Chris Pratt is the best part about this film. His character in particular got to see his dad for a couple of years. His dad has passed, and so he kind of has this like rebel attitude. He has a loud personality. He is funny. He is inviting. He's warm. He's welcoming. He's a tad weird, and people don't really gravitate towards him all too much, but he uses kind of this joy, this happiness as a front, because he knows deep down that he misses his dad as well, but he doesn't express it as much as Ian does. And so I think with Chris Pratt and his personality and how kind of wholesome it is and how just funny and outgoing it is, I think it's so appropriate for this person who is that, but is also hiding something underneath. And even with some of the smaller conversations that they have and some of the subtle moments, Chris Pratt is able to kind of dial that back and really kind of just speak in a normal conversation. And it's really kind of effective on that front, because we know that this character is going through so much pain. So yeah, Chris Pratt is definitely the best part. Everyone else is good. Tom Holland, he's getting better. I will say that he's getting better at voice performances, but he's good. He's not anything like exciting or anything, but at least his character is designed to the way he's kind of built up, like kind of tall and lanky. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, she's good as the mom, not in it really that much. Octavia Spencer, she shows up as this one character who's really funny. But yeah, it's just it's just solid kind of voice casting. It's not anything like a Toy Story or Inside Out, where like every character I felt like elevated the character that's being animated in front of us and really bringing it to life, so to speak. It's solid work. So I will say that. And speaking of character design, because I mentioned it with Tom Holland, that is the one complaint I really have about this film, is that I love the world that is created. I love the intricacy and the detailed, clothes and settings and cars and whatever. But the characters don't really work for me. Like, they're fine, but it kind of had the Good Dinosaur effect, where like the environments were almost photorealistic, and they really just provide the extra depth and layering that you want to your movie. But then their characters looked like gummies. So it's strange, but I'll let it slide. But that's honestly my only complaint. Other than that, it's a pretty typical quest movie. MacGuffin, go get, pit stops in between, learning about the characters along the way, the journey that they take, not only to get the MacGuffin, but the journey that they take as characters and how they grow with their arc. It's stuff we've seen before, but I think it's a good time if you're a family. that's looking to take, the family out to go see something, go see it. You want to take your kids out, go see it. I think if you don't have any kids and you still want to see another Pixar movie or an animated film, check this one out. I'm going to give Onward a B, so that is what I think of this movie. Let me know down below what you think of it. Please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get up-to-dates on whenever I drop any review. And that will do it for this review, guys. I'm Chase Lee, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.